It is a get-rich-quick plan because life is too short to get rich slow.
Why Marketing Strategy for Effective Fundraising, a second edition 12 years after the first? Most charities today are using marketing in some shape, size or form, but more often than not, it's, as Philip de Kotler was describing 40 years ago, social marketing trying to drive behavioural change. Now this is a very important part of what charities do in their policy work, in their campaigning, but it is only part of the spectrum of marketing and the marketing toolbox available to charity communicators. And marketeers, if they are going to be fully effective, need to be using all those marketing tools for fundraising, for marketing communications, for the press and PR, as well as those campaigns and policy work. So what I've seen happen over the last 12 years is that more charities are professing to have a marketing function, but more often than not, it is not integrated. And that means that fundraisers are often left communicating different messages to those of the policy and the research and the campaigning departments. My message to all charities is that they need to work much harder at integration. Whilst at Arthritis Care, for example, we came out with a touchstone for them, all the marketing communications, including fundraising, that everything we said and did had to be honest, it had to be positive, it had to be, of course, legal, and it had to be urgent. Because if we're talking to people with arthritis, they don't want to hear about victims or triumph over tragedy. Similarly, those people minded to give to the organisation needed to know that we could make a difference, not about providing a cure, but about providing support for those very people with arthritis. So those touchstones, the corner really of our ethical policy in terms of communications, worked across the organisation. The case studies that are contained in Marketing Strategy for Effective Fundraising are current, they are relevant because they cover a range of organisations from 150 million in Lenin Cheshire disability to a couple of 100,000 in South Bank Mosaics, a small social enterprise, who are embracing marketing strategy for the first time. South Bank Mosaics are an interesting social enterprise who, up to the recession, were doing very well with their model of intervention, using the building of mosaic panels, street furniture, and local authorities installing those as a very successful long-term intervention for young offenders to change behaviour and have successful outcomes. However, the lack of a marketing strategy meant when the recession hit, they had nowhere else to go with those panels and products. By doing a marketing audit, by setting some medium to long-term marketing objectives and a marketing plan, they were able to look at alternative markets. Over the last 10 years, a lot of changes have happened with civil society organisations and the environment in which they work. It's really interesting to see how much philanthropic psychology, the study by Jen Xiang and Adrian Sargent, is impacting the thoughts behind fundraising. My own research shows that the way in which people, whatever their stakeholder role, as beneficiary, as supporter, or as a giver of money, has a profound impact in the way that they interact with society and with the civil society organisation. For example, Asjan and Fishbein, in their seminal work, have talked about behaviour being driven by attitude, being driven by beliefs. Now, I believe that we can go further than that. I think civil society organisations in their strategic planning need to look at the core beliefs and values of their stakeholder groups and work through how that motivation drives the very behaviour and attitudes displayed by those charity supporters, campaigners and beneficiaries. This is work that I'm exploring as we speak in my current research. It's described in detail in the book and is of real value to the fundraiser, the marketeer and the charity campaigner. So, marketing strategy for effective fundraising is a text that I think will benefit practitioners and academics alike. More importantly, anyone charged with developing and implementing a marketing strategy is going to find the case studies of real value to them and the examples, whether they are failures or successes, because we learn more from our failures very often than our successes, and there's a few of those described in the book, will, I think, help people understand how best to integrate their plans and get that proverbial quart out of a pint pot.